Hello everyone and welcome back to Dragalia Foundry, a fan channel where everything Dragalia Lost can be found. In today's video, I'm going to be checking out the Fractured Futures Raid Revival. This raid event is back from the first anniversary for a limited time as part of the lead up into the second anniversary, which will have its own special raid coming very soon. But this is a fantastic event. It's probably one of my favorites in Dragalia Lost, and it's one of the most exciting as far as the boss fights go when it comes to raids. So I hope you really enjoy this. If you played it last year, now's your chance to see how much you've progressed, since I know this was a pretty big challenge for folks last year. And if you're new to it, I hope you like the story. I'm sure you're going to fall in love with Audric, as many of us did last year, and I would recommend you play through Chapter 5 of the main campaign before playing the raid story to really have a sense of what's going on. I think if you play through Chapter 5, you'll be able to connect a lot of the dots as far as how this relates to the main campaign, and that was the recommendation when I checked with some of the story specialists over on our Discord server. So that's my recommendation if you're a newer player to this. If you're returning, you kind of know what you're in for, but just the epic scale on some of these battles is why we are here today to kind of celebrate this revival. I'm going to be playing through some of the content I haven't done yet. I'll probably do one EX raid and a Nightmare raid, since I have the materials to do both of those. Remember, with this Nightmare raid, there's a grand bounty available, so you want to try do these every day. Every day you're going to get a really good reward by completing this, and just as an FYI, it's available from day one of this raid. The thing is, you have to have played through and cleared an EX battle before Nightmare pops up on your screen. So it can be easy to overlook that and miss that. That's why I want to point that out. Otherwise, a lot of the features and mechanics of this raid are similar to all raids in Dragalia Lost. So I will card out in the corner of your screen to a raid guide video that I made that if you're really brand new to how raids work, that can kind of help you strategize what you want to do as far as collecting your emblems, collecting your blazons, and clearing out your endeavors. Now, I've already cleared the endeavors for the day, but I'll just flip through these so you can kind of see them. So every day you want to be clearing 3 quests from the raid event, clear a raid battle, defeat the Shining Cyclops, who's a boss who gives you otherworld fragments that you use to join raids, collect some blazons, actually 300 of them, and then you just get a bonus summoning ticket for clearing all those endeavors. There are also some limited endeavors here, and I'll probably collect these a little bit later. One thing you can always do is, if you don't want to use your blazons, collect them right away, you can save them for later, so it can help you clear out your dailies in the future when each day you have to get 300 of them. Alright, I think we're pretty much set up here. Went through the raid. I have a team designed for this raid, which I'm excited to share. And I think, let's try this in co-op. It might be a little too easy nowadays, but I think it still might be fun. Although, maybe we should just give it a try in solo? I don't know. It's hard to say. Let me go into my settings here, options, and make it so it's a little more exciting and dynamic. I'm going to turn on camera shake, redistancing, settings during skills. That should make it so our dragon transformation is a little bit more splashy. And we'll go ahead and do quick play. Audric is a really sweet character because he has some unique dragon-centric mechanics, including being the only character in the game who has shapeshift prep as part of his kit.
I kept you waiting.
Alright.
Apologies.
Looks like we have a good mix of players here, good mix of power levels. Hopefully this makes it so we get to see some of the more fun segments in this battle, and I hope whoever is leading us here decided to keep the opening sequence on, because when Kronos Nyx waltzes onto the stage, it is a sight to behold. If we can't see it this time, I'll definitely put it on when we do our EX raid. Alright, looks like they skipped it, but that's okay, it's understandable. You might be playing this a lot, and at some point you do have to skip those opening sequences. Alright, some lightning bolts coming out. One of the things that made this feel so larger than life at the time was this is kind of like our first raid event that really combined, at least visually combined, attacks from lots of different elements and different afflictions. You can get bogged, you can get burned in this, you can get paralyzed by the lightning. And there's really kind of elaborate hitboxes like the one that you just saw there. Not to mention this music. Oh man, we got hit there. but that's okay. We had some paralysis relief. And as Audric, we're trying to transform as much as we can. His Exaltation Terminus gives us additional Dragon Gauge, not that we're lacking for any. Alright, that was a pretty quick battle. With all the visual effects on and the zoom in, it can be hard to see things, but I do think it makes it kind of fun. Let's throw out a thanks. We got it just in time. And yeah, as you can see, my Fractured Futures team is Audric, Yuden, and then I have Delphi and Cassandra. They were originally featured on a banner tied to this event, so some players thought that banner was going to get a revival, myself included, but it turns out we got a Dragon Special banner instead. Word to the wise on the Dragon Special banner, it is not worth summoning on, but if you're brand new, like really brand new, then you do get free tenfold summons daily, and it's just whatever banner is up. So if you're in that position and it's totally free, obviously you want to do it, and it's because you can't save those free tenfolds. But otherwise, I would suggest nobody summon on this. Definitely save until the anniversary. We're likely to get a brand new Gala Dragalia banner, or Gala Dragalia banner, however you choose to pronounce it, for the anniversary, which should be a better value for you. Alright, so we did Nightmare. We got our Grand Bounty. These are the types of rewards you can get from it, but the Golden Fragment is not one of the better ones, but you can get a Sunlight Ore, which is probably the best, or a Damascus Crystal, which is okay. Nevertheless, a Golden Fragment is never something bad to have access to, and eventually you'll be able to turn that into a key, which saves you some Eldwater when getting prints from the print shop. Well, we did that. Let's do EX. And this one I'm going to solo, but it's only because I wanted to see more of the fights, and honestly, we're probably going to have to power down our team if we really want to see more of this battle. So I'm going to do that as well. On my AI, I'm just going to put a weaker weapon, so maybe this is what we had access to last year. These 5-star core weapons is what they're called. They're part of the core series, and so these are kind of the peak of power as far as what we had access to last year. I'll put those on. And I guess I'll do the same for Audric as well. And let's see if that changes things. We still have a pretty powerful setup of dragons, but this might make it a little bit more interesting. There's one move in particular that Kronos Nyx does in the middle of the battle. I don't know if he only does it in Omega, but it's a really awesome move, and I just want to see that if we can. So we may even stall for time a little bit, run around the arena. But look at that walk, look at that pose. Yeah, Kronos Nyx is awesome, and even the Kronos raid itself is really sweet. I don't think any of us were expecting it to take up half the stage when that first came out. Okay, so we're starting off with these lightning bolts that cause paralysis. One thing to note is whenever you use a skill, you will be immune to things like those red area of effects, but not the purple ones. And when you're using skills in particular, you also make it so that your AI teammates get some immunity as well. But nowadays, the AI tend to be pretty good at dodging on their own, so that's less of a concern as it used to be, but for harder content, it definitely comes up. Let's run away from this. You can see they've definitely taken some damage, and not gonna lie, I'm a little worried about them. Maybe we limited ourselves too much. Uh-oh, Yuden's not looking good. Alright, Yuden was able to iframe that. I'm gonna Dragon as Yuden, mostly to give him some protection. Wow, and with all that's going on, we actually have to be a little careful about timing our iframes and whatnot to protect our team. Okay, this is the move I wanted to see, Causality Reversal. Yeah, this is so cool looking. Basically, the way this works is there is a weak point, and you have to attack and destroy the weak point in time. If you don't, it's a wipe for everybody in the raid. But if you succeed, as you can see, you can break Kronos Nyx and then do a lot of damage. And I think there's something related where Kronos Nyx will like freeze the screen altogether, which was one of the most shocking things that has ever happened to me playing this game the first time I went about it. Alright, looks like we did pretty well for ourselves there. It got kind of dicey, but we ended up getting the clear nonetheless. We had to switch between Audric and Yuden. But yeah, that's kind of a look at the raid. It's a very fun event, so I hope y'all enjoy it. Omega is available, and now there's going to be an Omega level 2 difficulty. The way these work is sometime during the event, you're going to get some keys by collecting things from these emblems, and these are cumulative, so you don't expend anything as you go, so you can freely accept everything if you want to. But there's some Omega keys in here, one in each tier of the emblems. The one in the gold tier is higher up, it's at 3,000, which also is kind of the limit for like the really good rewards at the gold tier. At the silver tier, the limit for the really good rewards is 1,000, and at the bronze tier as well, it's 1,000. Those are like the more precious items that you can get, and everything else after that is kind of like excess grinding if you really want to play the raid out more. But anyway, once you get all 3 keys, you unlock an Omega solo battle, or in this case, because there's both Chronos and Chronos Nyx, you unlock 2 of them. Those you have to fight on your own, with your own team. They're pretty challenging, but if you're able to defeat it, you can eventually play in a raid version of those same battles, and that's going to come out toward the end of the raid. So I think it's starting on Saturday in my time zone, a day before the actual anniversary. So I think it's like the 26th until the end of the raid, which for me is the 30th. But yeah, we were able to take that down. We cleared our first battle on Nightmare. We were able to use our theme team as well. So let's talk briefly about some of the other stuff that's going on, since I think that's all I want to do for Fractured Futures until the Omega battle comes out, and I definitely want to check that out. But besides that today, I already talked about the showcase. We have double drops for shadow materials going on right now, which is a great time to power up shadow characters for the Fractured Futures event. Some of the characters you get for free from tutorials in the campaign, like Eric and Althemia, are going to be really good for this. You can also use Cleo, she's a really good healer, and Audric, of course, is an excellent choice. We found out the date of the digest, so it's going to be Thursday, right at the end of a long 12-hour maintenance. So we're going to come back to a game that could be totally unfamiliar to us. I mean, it might really have changed. We got the Chapter 15 interlude today. I probably won't make a separate video about this. I don't want to spoil anyone since this isn't really a story-centric video, but it wasn't too exciting for me. There were a couple revelations. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like a big game changer or something I really feel I need to comment on. As far as the Fractured Futures raid announcement, one thing I wanted to point out was there are no worm prints in the Blazon summons this time. In the past, people used to use those to farm up extra worm prints that they could sell for Eldwater, and it was a way of converting your Wormite, your summoning currency, which also can be used to refresh your stamina and Gather Wings. It was a way of converting that into excess Eldwater. But the reason they removed them is because they said there's going to be changes to the worm print system in version 2.0, and the version 2.0 update notification will be posted in the near future. Now, the reason that's so exciting is so far, all of the versions of Dragalia Lost have been 1 point something. So this month, we were told we were going to get 1.24. Basically, there's been one every month, so we're now 24 months since the launch of the game. But them actually changing from 1.24, 1.24 to 2.0 could be symbolic, you know, of a actual proper reboot or restart or refresh at the very least of the game. So I'm very excited to see that and find out what that entails, probably in the next couple days here, maybe even before the digest if we're lucky. Otherwise, we get some really nice login bonuses, just some summon vouchers. You know, it's not a lot of summon vouchers. Save them. You don't need to burn them off. You don't want to use them on this Dragon special. It's kind of a gimme skip banner, which I appreciate them doing. They could have put something out really tempting before the anniversary, but this banner is not tempting for most players. It really should not be super tempting. If you're not too familiar with the dragons, you may have thought it was a good banner to summon on. Don't feel bad about it. You're going to get some value off of it. But in general, I would recommend you don't summon on it. Okay, they also refreshed the second anniversary website, or created a second anniversary website. I don't know if I'm going to be able to open this in this recording session, but let's give it a try. Alright, we're here on the anniversary website. It didn't work out completely smoothly, but I was able to get here, so I'm glad we get to check it out. I did want to share this because the artwork is so cool. Last year what they did was they showed all of the characters from the first anniversary events, or at least a lot of them. And this year they showed characters from year 2 events or year 2 summon showcases. So you can see Mitsuba and Nobunaga, Ibisu, Hanabusa, Chitose, and Daikokuten. The whole crew from A Clawful Caper. There's Aldred and Andromeda as well. There's Chelsea, Gold, and Lazri, who never really got their own proper event, but below them you have Pipple on top of Nimus's head, next to Valerio and Mitsuba. Then at the bottom you have Cassandra, Parallel Zodiark, Audric, and Delphi as well. To the right you have, let's see, Linnea, Nadine of course, Sam, and then you have Eugene and Catherine, Noelle, Victor, Kirsty. Gosh, I want to say, I just always say Joaquim, but I'm not sure what the right pronunciation is. I don't know if anyone is sure, but I always say Joaquim, so he's there. And then there's Garland, and above them Zubaje, Xiao Wujing, Mei He Wang, and Wukong. Not Radiant Xuansong, which is kind of interesting. Sandalphon, Pinna, Nevin, Rambiel, and then of course a tiny mouse on top of Mitsuhide's head that I did not mention earlier. So yeah, the gang looks really good. It's so cute to see all their artwork. But as far as what they said about the anniversary, a lot of this is coming soon. The one thing they've shared so far is the connected story aspect of the Fractured Futures raid event. So there's some scenes in here from the story of that event, but out of context, so not spoiling anything. But you do want to definitely check out this trailer. This trailer is super hype. They posted it last year. If you haven't seen it and you've played through the raid, like, go back and watch it anyway. It's still really hype. And they also tell you, you can play through chapter 15 of the main story. And what will the setting for the anniversary raid be? We still don't know, but they say second anniversary raid event is coming, second anniversary update, which we know is the huge update, new content, could be anything, second anniversary events, which is probably stuff like triple drops and, just some login bonus type stuff, social media event, I assume a retweet campaign, Summon Showcase number 1, Summon Showcase number 2, Summon Showcase number 3 planned for early October. So I think these first two are probably the Gala Dragalia and the Platinum Gala. The one for early October, I don't know. Maybe it'll be like a Halloween revival or something. It would have to be something a little bit special for them to call it out, in my opinion. High difficulty quests, I'm guessing this is not just Master Ciella's Wrath for the Agito. I think it's something else, like our teaser of the next endgame content. Event planned for mid-October. So, I think, let's see, is there another event? There's one in late October, one in mid-October. I think this mid-October one might be like a defensive battles or onslaught event, probably an onslaught event, something flavorful to the month of October, but nothing super huge. The late October, I think it's going to be a brand new Halloween event, and I'm hoping it's a Halloween raid that would go with the Summon Showcase, and I think Halloween could use the refresh, so maybe they'll put last year's Halloween event in the event compendium. Otherwise, the last thing is new information will be revealed in early November. And I have to imagine that's around the time that we got info on the Mega Man collab. Have to imagine that is our collab information, and I'm really hoping for Hyrule Warriors. We'll see what it ends up being, but that is pretty much going to do it for this video, everyone. I just thought I'd walk us through some of these news. This news as it comes out, as it's revealed to us, since every day there's a chance for excitement now with the lead up to the anniversary. It might be a little quiet before the Dragalia Digest, we'll have to see. But until we meet again, everyone, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.